Today's learning target is I can find the area of a circle. So we've talked now about how to find the circumference, or the distance around a circle. Today we're going to be talking about finding the area of a circle. So finding how much space is taken up by a circle. So to find the area of a circle, we're going to use the formula area equals pi times the radius squared. And remember, the radius goes from the outside of the circle to the center. So we'll take the area of a circle equals pi r squared. For the test, you're going to need to know which formulas go with the circumference and which formula goes with the area. A good way to try to remember it is to think about it this way. Your area of a circle, okay, all of both the area and the circumference, we're going to use the number pi. Okay, but in the area of a circle, area in almost all cases is going to be bigger than the circumference around. Right? There's going to be more space taken up, more square space taken up for the area than distance around. So if you look at this formula, if we take r squared and then times it by pi versus just taking the diameter times pi, this is going to give you a bigger number. Okay, in almost every case. And there are a few circles where that wouldn't be the case, but for most circles this will give you a larger number than either of these would, because if you square the radius versus timesing the radius by 2, you're going to get a larger number. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. The circumference is pi times diameter, or pi times 2 times the radius. So let's start by finding the area of this circle. Now the first thing I'm going to do, and the first thing I want you to do, is write out the formula. Okay, so area equals pi r squared. Now I'm going to just plug in my numbers. So I'm looking for the area. I know that pi equals 3.14 times, and the radius is right here. It gives me 9. So I'm going to take 9 squared. I know that 9 squared is 81, so now I'm just taking 3.14 times 81. When I calculated that, here's the number I got. I'm going to round it to the nearest tenth, so I'm going to take a look at my hundredths place, and it looks like I'm going to leave my tenths number the same, so my area is 254 and 34 hundredths, or rounded to the tenths, and 3 tenths. And now I have to label it. Remember, it's area, so it's going to be square units, meters squared. Let's take a look here at this circle where we are given the diameter, the line that is done or goes all the way through, d, diameter, done. So we're given the diameter. Let's look at this one. So I start by writing out my formula. Area equals pi r squared. You're going to do the same thing today. Now I just plug in my numbers, but be careful here because I have a diameter and I don't have a radius. But remember, I know that a radius is just half a diameter. So I'm going to take half of 15. So if I needed to, I could calculate it and do 15 divided by 2. But I know that half of 15 is going to be 7.5. I'm going to square that. And I know pi is 3.14. And I'm going to solve this now. So when I did 7.5 squared, or 7.5 squared, I got 56.25, and I'm going to times that by pi, which is 3.14. And when I multiply that out of my calculator, I get 176.6. I rounded to the nearest tenth again. And again, I need a label, so I know I'm looking at feet, so it's going to be square feet, or feet squared. So again, this is what I should see in your work today. Sometimes we're going to be asked to find the area of part of a circle, okay, or a sector, that's called. So in this case, we're going to find the area of this shaded part. So it's only half of a circle. So to do that, I'm going to just find the area of my circle, just like this, and then once I find the area of it, I'm going to take half of it, okay? Or the other way I could look at it is I could find the area, okay, so do this, and then divide it by 2. Either way, you'll get the same answer. So find the area of your circle and take half of it, or find the area and divide it by 2. So here I've written down my formula and I plugged in my numbers, and I knew that this diameter would be half of that would be the radius, so that's 8. That's what I plugged in there. Now once I go through and solve the rest of the way, okay, you can see here that I ended up with 12 point, after I did 64 times pi, I got 25.12, and then I took half of that, so I did that just by timesing by 0.5, or I could have divided by 2, same thing, and I got 12 and 56 hundredths square inches.